Back over to Bill Russo to introduce our next startup, Mpower, and Michael Pack, the founder. Bill, go ahead.
Great. Hi, Nick. Thanks again. So this is quite a different technology field. It's the field of propulsion technology and the future of sort of electric, or what in China we call new energy vehicle, which is inclusive of battery electric, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell electric vehicles. And since we have been actively researching the subject matter around propulsion technology, we found that there's a very strong pull, at least from the point of view of the public policy, toward next generation propulsion technologies. And one of the weak links, we've worked with clients who are trying to put themselves into the ecosystem of hydrogen power, which in China is very much promoted and subsidized. So I think the problem of the commercialization of fuel cell is having very specific use cases that have high energy draw, and then solving the problem of deployment of infrastructure around distribution of hydrogen. I think those are all the practical problems on the infrastructure side, many of which are being tackled by investments being made on the public side. On the private side, the challenge is incorporating the technology into a vehicle at a reasonable price point. I found and met Michael about a little over a year ago, and Michael is based in Silicon Valley, and he has a serial entrepreneur. He's worked on propulsion technologies and battery technologies, is a chemical engineer by training. That's one of the areas we share an interest in. And obviously the battle over next generation propulsion technology is one that he is a true expert in. But his innovation is in the creation of a nanoporous material for the proton exchange membrane that significantly changes the performance and the economics of the component in the fuel cell stack. Also used in the hydrogen generation portion of the value chain associated with the hydrogen fuel cell development. He's as I said, a serial entrepreneur. He was the co-founder and CEO of EoCell, which was founded in 2015. He started Mpower Innovation in 2019. Is won an award with Mpower as the most innovative company in 2019 at the International Hydrogen Fuel Cell Congress. His prior ventures were funded by Khosla Ventures and SoftBank. So he's got a track record of having successfully brought startups into creation. And this is, I think, a field that all of us are keeping in terms of its development and commercialization. Let me turn it over to Michael Pack, and he can introduce Mpower Innovation.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for Bill for your introduction. And I'm very honored to present the Mpower story to the attendees. So Mpower, I'm the co-founder and CEO.
Yeah, Michael, before you start, could you just make your presentation full screen so that we can
do
a little larger? Perfect, thank you.
Okay. So we want to be the leader in hydrogen fuel cell technology by our disruptive, the material, and also in the area of the CO2 capturing technology as well. So our mission statement is we like to reshape the hydrogen fuel cell technology by our innovation. So such as like high performance membrane, what we are working on, and the PT, the alloy catalyst, we believe are the key to accelerate the mass adoption of hydrogen fuel cell and actually hydrogen generation. So one of the validation, we have we believe that we are the only actually the ultra thin membrane means actually that you can generate the higher power, and then you can go longer range with actually initial automotive companies validation. So let me go over our company quickly. And we are we want to be the leading company to develop the cutting edge fuel cell membrane, which is non-nepheum based, and also PTA alloy catalyst means reduce a significant precious metal for the catalyst, and actually the MEA. We founded in 2019 in Silicon Valley. And the team prior project, as Bill mentioned, was funded by successfully the Khosla Venture and SoftBank. The key team coming from the Jonathan Matthey, one of the leading catalyst company in emission control as well as fuel cell, and Argonne National Lab, Nanostellar, and then Honeywell, and then Quantumscape. One of our exciting validation we are working on is we already working with one of the big global automotive company to develop the cutting edge our membrane together. Recently, we secured the $8 million and actually the second tranche $72 million commitment from Middle East strategic partners and Korean PE fund. So based on actually this commitment, we are planning to build a manufacturing facility to produce the membrane as well as the MEA either in US or Asia. So I will not spend too much time. So I'm Michael Peck, CEO, and then Dr. Ma is my founding member. He's one of the brilliant scientists in the United States to develop the nanoporous material we are using for the PEM and then the catalyst. The Bob is an ex-Jonathan Matthey guy, and then he has extensive experience in the area of the automotive emission and fuel cell catalyst, and he worked with me my prior Nanostellar company. And Dr. John Shan is an ex-Quantumscape guy. He's one of the experts for the MEA in hydrogen fuel cell as well as a lithium-ion battery. We have a advisory board. We assembled a very powerful advisory board. Like Dr. Kurt, he's currently senior VP of the Umicore, and Bill Lusso is here, and Mr. Shinto was a former managing director and president of SoftBank, and actually Dr. Kim from Samsung and Andy Kim from the former senior CIA intelligence member. So I'll give you quick the tutorial. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of this the difference between electric vehicle versus actually fuel cell. So fuel cell vehicle is, the more close to the internal combustion engine than the EV, although they use electric, the motors. So they use the fuel tank instead of a gasoline. They basically pump hydrogen, either gas or the liquid, into the fuel cell stack. And then the fuel cell stack, basically you generate the power, electricity, that how it works compared to the battery. And then this, regarding this fuel cell stack, the key technology is membrane and catalyst. So this is, the inside of the fuel cell engine. So it's more close to the mechanical engine, like a combustion. So on the left side, from the gas tank, hydrogen tank, your hydrogen comes inside in the MEA fuel cell stack. On the right side, and oxygen comes. And then in between, that's the membrane, which is, now the fuel cell industry has a bottleneck. We need to enhance the density and then the ion conductivity. That's what Mpower is working on. So when you come and the hydrogen, oxygen, then you generate electricity, and depends on how thin that determine your performance. So I will not, going to compare which platform is more, better, and then the pros and cons. But very simple is between the Tesla is a battery based. I've been in the battery, the guy for 15 years. On the right side, this is new Mirai Gen 2, which can run the 400 miles per charge, 5 minutes of charging compared to Tesla S, 30 to 40 minutes. If you look at the bottom chart, and then the specific energy, watt hour per kilogram, the battery is around the 245 to maximum maybe 300 now. Solid state battery happen, that will be maybe around the 400. On the other hand, the fuel cell, theoretically, it can deliver over 700 watt hour per kilogram. That's the beauty of the hydrogen technology compared to battery. So if you look at this slide, And the EV battery base more like in a short range, maximum maybe 300 to 500 miles. But the downside is charging is the challenge. Compared to that, and then the longer range like a truck, and then cargo, population power, and then aviation and cargo ship is hydrogen has more advantage and strengths, and then charging time is another advantage, and including the CO2 reduction. So this is just the fuel cell market size. Maybe the 10 years ago, like a lithium-ion battery, the genesis chronology, and Tesla started in 2003, delivered in 2009, the first Roadster. So we are like 10 years ago, the fuel cell industry, the maturity is 10 years ago of the lithium-ion battery. So we are reaching very soon, we are very close to reach the tipping point that we call the 100,000 to 200,000 units of a fuel cell, the automobile within 2 years. That's the very exciting story. So I will give you a quick actually synopsis. What we are doing is, so the upper part, this is the key actually the technology to run the hydrogen fuel cell. It's a fuel cell stack and then MEA. So we are actually our first focus is a cutting edge membrane, which is the membrane is now is the one of the bottleneck to improve the cyclability as well as actually the ion conductivity. Just like the lithium-ion battery, we need a thinner membrane, but the challenge is when you make a thinner membrane, actually the conductance has the conductance has some issue, also some actually fuel crossover issue, and this is what Mpower actually the tackling the issue, and then we are making tremendous the progress to improve this issue. So this is just the comparison table. The Napion is invented by the DuPont, and then everybody using Napion, and then they coat into the substrate. We call the supporting material. Guar is a dominating 95% market in fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cell industry at this moment, and then no one is competing their performance yet. Mpower, so we are making substantial progress to compete with the Guar by the different technology. We call the porous nanomaterial to make a thinner. However, we can actually deliver the higher conductance. Higher conductance means just like a semiconductor analogy, more high energy density and smaller. So means actually you can put the more power within same mechanical cockpit of the vehicle, and you can run longer. So this is our the validation, and then we already making less than 5 micron ultra thin membrane, and then also we are making on the right side, including positive catalyst and the negative, and in between middle there is a membrane. This is the core component of the fuel cell, and then this actually the pattern is already protected, and then we have over 50 trade secret owned. I will pass actually this catalyst story. So what makes the Mpower the very makes special to enhance the proton exchange membrane more robust and then more power. So we use a very disruptive the nanoporous material, which we can actually control or trap the gas penetration, and also we can actually make some very unique structure, and then the two conductor proton ion conductivity happen faster. Target market currently our phase 1 based on our the PEM and then the membrane electrode assembly product. Our initial the target will be the OEM, the vehicle OEM company or fuel cell system company. In terms of the catalyst, since the precious metal is procurement related, we are working with one of the big catalyst company. Let them actually produce our PT, reduce the catalyst, and then supply to us, and also they can sell to their customer, and then we can earn the royalty. So summary, we start 2 years ago, and we raised the money, the $10 million so far, and then $72 million commitment from the new investors. We complete our initial product in 2020, and we filed a very novel patent in the 2019. And one of the big validation is we are doing the joint development with one of the big global company who are in the hydrogen vehicle production for the PEM fuel cell technology in 2020. So thank you so much. This is the introduction of the Mpower.
Wonderful. Great. Well, Michael, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And also really appreciate walking through some of the technical aspects of what it is you do and why it's so special. I think that's that when I first heard your presentation was a little lost on me. So this was very well received. Thank you. All right, moving over to questions. Anyone from the audience want to kick us off?
Yeah, this is Chris Bailey. I've got a question on China again. Sorry. I see you guys have some commercial relationships in China. No doubt that's Bill's team has been behind that. We do know a little bit about non-precious metal catalysts, and there's quite a few players at the university space in China that are working on solutions. I don't know how close they are to your solution. Just wondered if you sort of looked at, there's quite a patent thicket, and if you'd looked at that and worked out if you can navigate through that, or whether there'll be licenses you have to obtain.
So question is the licensing related matter?
Yeah, specifically in China.
You mean so what your question is, let me understand that your question is what will be the legal legal related issue, or I'm sorry,
it's more, well, it's legal plus commercial. There's a number of players working on the same bottleneck, which is the working around platinum.
Maybe not. Actually, the big difference, if you look at this slide, we done a lot of the patent search with the legal team. Mm-hmm. So we usually the most of the current the catalyst company, they basically use some the nanoparticle the approach. What we are doing is we are doing atomic dispersed, and then based on the unique actually metal, the organic frame, actually the technology. So I'm not going to say actually we are 100% we are clean and then we own everything.
Sure.
But since actually the material we use to reduce the precious metal by our the porous material, there is not many overlap based on our patent search with the legal team
okay.
For our due diligence with the strategic partner. That's right. My answer. Yep.
Okay, thanks. That's impressive.
Thanks, Chris. Who's next?
Hey, my name's Kent. I have a question about the necessary infrastructure in the U.S. To make this viable for commercial sale. I remember it was in the early 2000s. General Motors had a fuel cell vehicle, and at least I worked for a GM dealership at the time, and at least the answer we were given to why it wasn't ever really produced, it was a lack of interest in building the infrastructure. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
What actually my understanding is the U.S. we are kind of the missing strong policy from central government. However, the EU and the Korea, Japan, and then China, my understanding is that there is a big actually the commitment, and also because actually the hydrogen platform is a little bit different. This is not just a limit to the transportation, and so I will show you one slide. Bill is okay. So hydrogen is basically not just for the transportation, and then this is more like a platform technology. If you look at here, so you can generate the hydrogen by the fossil energy or renewable, and then you can supply that hydrogen to transportation or chemical industry, petroleum, or the fertilizer. In the meantime, you can do the reversible. You can actually, whenever you need like the energy on demand, you can convert your hydrogen to electricity. That's the big difference between the lithium-ion battery and hydrogen. So the US, the DOE, the department is working very hard. We are kind of behind, but the other, continental, they are actually moving full speed. And then it's growing, this market is exploding, not just the limit because of the transportation. The evidence is already now the production is already $150 billion. This is not including transportation. Now actually the Middle East and all, Korea, Japan, Europe is heading to not only green hydrogen, but also actually we call the blue hydrogen. So that's one of the technology what we have. We can capture the CO2 when you make actually the gray hydrogen from the, the natural gas or coal. And so it's a blue hydrogen is very close to, green hydrogen. And then since, the volume of hydrogen is already producing very massive way, and the infrastructure, especially Europe and then China and the other country, except the US, is going to gearing up the big momentum. That's my understanding.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Kat. We have maybe time for one more question before I will let everyone go. Anyone else? One more, anyone?
I see David with his hand up.
David.
Hi. Yeah, here in Tokyo, we definitely see the infrastructure coming in. They're fueling stations for the Mirai, but they seem to sit empty because the cost of the car is still so much more than an EV. How and obviously you're working on a piece of this puzzle. How do you see the cost curve coming down because of improvements in the fuel cell drive chain, and when do you see it catching the EVs, or do you see other advantages that will make it competitive with EVs?
So if you look at this chart, and like I said, and we are like the hydrogen fuel cell is the 10 years ago, maybe I go to the different, 10 years ago, maybe status. So once we reached, my personal opinion, around the 2024 and 2025, it's not that far. That's how actually the Tesla electric vehicle, after they, introduced the Roadstar, then they introduced the mass volume called the, S. So around the 24, 25, and then of course we have to build the infrastructure, and then the catalyst, I think a lot of companies making tremendous progress. As long as somebody like Mpower or Gore to improve the 50% more conductance, means more power. I think then that will be the the timing to trigger the cost reduction, and then the volume will pick up. That's my actually the prediction.
Okay.
So I'll go with you guys. And then also, how is
Thanks.
the PVP thing? Is it okay? Do you want me to call anything?
Yeah, let me talk to you about it later.
Okay. I have a
All
meeting.
right, I think we are just about out of time here. Michael, thank you so much for your time today. If I'm sure you are available online and elsewhere if people want to continue this conversation.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.